New year arrived and it's already 2025 and this is still the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, and yes, it got an update. And although we're very close to the Samsung Galaxy Unpacked event in a few days and everybody's already looking forward to meet S25 series and the Ultra and One UI 7, hey, we got an update. And this update is with the version CXK4. It's a security patch from January 2025. Size is shy of 400 megabytes. But it's important to evaluate the performance of the device because, believe it or not guys, I'm still not selling my S23 Ultra. I will wait for the S25 Ultra to just be released and then again assess it versus the S24 Ultra. And you know what I'm thinking right now? I'll probably sell my S24 Ultra, the one I'm using to record the very same video you're watching right now, and keep the S23 Ultra, just because I don't think we're gonna have a phone like this. And yeah, something is special about this phone and I really love it. And because that's a security update, we can always check the Samsung mobile security, see what they have incorporated. They usually release this maintenance of release of major flagship models, the SMR, and you can see what they've incorporated. So the Google patches include patches up to the Android security bulletin for January 2025. We have some critical vulnerabilities here, some high, and if you want to get more information guys, you can always go and check the Android security bulletins that are released directly by Google, because inside you're going to find more information on what have been fixed. It's always a good idea to maintain the security of your device. Speaking about security, there is something you need to know. Going inside the settings and clicking on security and privacy will perform a security scan for you. And then something peculiar guys, it will say, hey, updates, no recommended actions. And the security update you can clearly see is from the 1st of January. But what happens when you click the Google Play System update? Usually it's going to trigger a manual update process, and sometimes, believe it or not, like this very same case, we do have an update that is 11 megabytes. Now, why doesn't it show there? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's Samsung, I don't think it's Google. This is the way it works. But nevertheless, even when you download the latest firmware, go inside and make sure that you have the latest Google Play system and also the updates that are related to that. In the introduction of the video, I said that somehow the S23 Ultra is special, and it's not probably just because it has a 10x optical zoom, and it's of course not as good as everybody out there, specifically all the phones released this year, but somehow there is a nice soft touch to these photos. And again, the moment I buy the S25 Ultra, I'm going to compare the S23 Ultra with the S24 and the S25 Ultra, and one of them will have to go. And a fun fact, guys, so it's not going to be the S25 Ultra for sure, right? This is the brand new phone with the Snapdragon 8 Elite, and my hopes are really high with getting the one-day battery, although, of course, I will first have to see it to believe it. So it has to be either the S24 Ultra or the S23 Ultra. And I'm just thinking right now, based on everything we've seen, the S24 Ultra is going to be closer to the S25 Ultra. Like, hey, some people are even calling it the same phone. So most probably the S23 Ultra is here to stay. Alright, this is the first boot. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you expected any miraculous fast booting, this is the reality. And now I've entered my PIN code, and this is how quickly I get to the home screen. So what I'm gonna do guys, I'm gonna go directly in my developers options and I will enable the show refresh rate option just in case that we can see what happens on the screen. Now, of course, this is just the refresh rate guys. Don't just mistaken this 4 frames per second. First thing I would like to test here is always like this. This particular animation has been really tough for Samsung, but finally I think they mastered it, and now at least we can minimize and maximize the settings on the home screen. This should also work hopefully good in this mode, all right? And as you can see guys, hopefully you're watching this in 60 FPS. It's not as smooth as I wanted it to be, but nevertheless, I think it's okay to close our eyes on this. Right, here we do have the Google Now menu, all right? So this is the standard navigation. Here we have the famous One UI 6.1 quick settings, and if you have been watching my One UI 7 coverage, you know this thing is going away. It's gonna be redesigned. Here we have the notifications, swipe left, right. I don't expect any hiccups at this time. All right, here I do have all the apps. Yeah, you see, I kind of did that because I'm using the vertical drawer. This is what I have on my phone. And by the way, those are all the apps I've been using in the last month. So I know that it's not supposed to be like this, but hey, I do have a lot of things that I still use on this phone. And yeah, I do videos for YouTube, so I need to test certain things. Nevertheless, guys, let's try to open some folders. All right, nice and smooth. Again, I don't really expect any hiccups here at this point of time. All right, let's open Telegram, scroll down, going outside. Let's open X. All right, loads quite nice, going outside. Let's go to the edge panels and see what happens when we open a dual app. So I'm gonna open this configuration where I have my browser and also YouTube. All right, yep, it works. I would say, okay, let's just try to maximize it and see what happens. All right, not that bad. Now maybe we can do this in the other direction as well. All right, yeah, you see, it works, guys. Don't expect any miracles. Of course, this phone is not gonna get any better, but who knows? Maybe Samsung will at the end just provide us a seamless experience with One UI 7 when this thing gets One UI 7. And we expect the first One UI 7 beta for the S23 Ultra the moment hopefully they release the stable version for the S25 Ultra and hopefully also for the S24 Ultra. As my phone has been just restarted, you've seen that one, I don't expect to have a lot of memory usage here, but if I go for the last 6 hours, this is pretty much what happens. You can access this menu within the developers option and just check on the apps that are using most of your memory. Of course, in that case, it's the OS itself and also One UI Home and System UI. And speaking about One UI Home, guys, let's just go here and check the version. Holding it, settings, gonna go to the About Home screen. Now, the latest version here is 15.505.29. Now, some of the things that usually annoy me, and they're not directly related, I guess, with Samsung, is most probably with the people behind this app. It's Instagram. You can see 120 Hz refresh rate, so I guess also high frame rate. But the moment I go to the left and I invoke here the camera viewfinder, we are going strictly from 120 to 60, and I guess this change isn't working nice all the time. But now you see, like every other time, it's going to not be that bad. Can we minimize it like this? Let's try one more time. Absolutely, right? So you can see how quickly the phone accesses the camera viewfinder, right? Minimizing it. All right, let's just now scroll down a bit, going through it. Yeah, it's actually not that bad at all. And speaking about the camera, it's also time to test what happens here in this domain. But first, some settings. I'm using the maximum intelligence here. And guys, you know, there is something called the camera assistant, right? You can access this directly now from the settings. I have auto HDR, picture softening is set to medium. And for higher resolution settings, I'm using adaptive pixel and upscale digital zoom. So why do we want to check this? Well, just to see how quick or not quick the camera will perform. Yeah. And as you can see, guys, it isn't that bad at all. Now, what about switching the different lenses? That's the ultra wide 1x, all right? Yeah, honestly, this thing isn't looking great. At this moment of time, I don't think it's gonna get even better. Now, let's go to the 3x. This is now a dedicated 3x lens, and this is the 10x I was speaking in my introduction. All right, you can see it's, yeah, it could be actually a bit faster, all right? And this is just the photo. Let's go inside the video. All right, let's just try to record 4K 60. You see, still, guys, when I'm doing 4K 60 on the S23 Ultra, I'm limited to just using the main lens. And this is so frustrating because I know that the 8 Gen 2 chip can handle this. But if you want to use all the lenses and the video, yeah, we need to be using the 30 FPS. So now I'm shooting UHD 30 or 4K 30, ultra wide, 1, 2, 3, 10. Okay. And now if I do like a free spin here, you can see it's actually quite slow, guys, right? And particularly coming from this device here, that is my main device for the last 2 months, the Xiaomi 15, yeah, I can just see that I'll be appreciating a bit of a faster lens switch in the S25 Ultra. This is kind of like what we can do with the Xiaomi 15. Now, of course, it only has a 2.6 optical camera, guys, not so much cameras like the S23 Ultra, but I do still believe that we should see really improvement, guys. This is something that really annoys me, and I understand that a normal user would not really try to do this like crazy, but it should really work. It should be there, and it should be your decision to not use it or use it. See here, guys, all right? Like the moment I go here, I have a feeling that this is just working with like 1-2 seconds after I did something on it, which isn't great at all. But let's just check some of the stock applications and assess the level of the animation. I don't really think that it's gonna be problematic for Samsung to just try to fix this. It's getting better and better, and you can just see, guys, yeah, it's a bit stiff, right? One UI 7 has smoother animations, and I really have high hopes with One UI 7 that Samsung will kind of not up their game in particular, but just try to even be better than the others. And the others are really good. It's like the OnePlus 13 and the Xiaomi 15. It's like the Color OS and Oxygen OS and also Hyper OS, and not to mention all the other things like the Origin OS and FunTouch OS, and also Huawei. Now, I don't have a Huawei device, but Huawei Next to Zero, whatever they call it, is really great in terms of smoothness, and I only hope that Samsung will be potentially stepping up their game and also trying to kind of be a bit better than the others. And I know this sounds a bit more optimistic, that it probably come true to life, but hey, you know, like they say, hope dies last, guys. Let me show you something interesting, guys. This is the Geekbench things, and I do keep here all the tests that I did. So let's check one of the highest one. If we have to pick here, yeah, sometimes we are almost like achieving 2000 on the single core score and way more than 5000 on the multi-core score. So now let's try to run another benchmark and see how much we're gonna get with this fresh update, and provided that the device has now just been restarted. And this is the score I got right now, almost 2000 on the single core score and just slightly above 5000 on the multi-core score. And I understand this is, yeah, by any means not a perfect score now, also given the fact that we have Snapdragon 8 Elite devices pushing more than 3000 and 10,000. But hey guys, this is running on a Gen 2. It's going to be still a very capable phone, allowing you to do a lot of things with it, and it's going to run actually very smooth. So if I have to choose how to spend 400 euros or USD for a new mid-ranger or probably something like this, I'll probably go with something like this, guys, because here we do have a nice stunning display. It's WQHD, very high resolution. You can watch all your videos like this. You can see 2160p HDR. It's 6.inch, still big. And of course, this is a decision that every user needs to make on its own. I will most probably keep my S23 Ultra also for this year, just to be able to see what Samsung are going to do with One UI 7. Oh, and before I close the video, let me show you something, guys. It seems that they might have brought something back. Let's go inside security and privacy. Here down below we have the auto blocker. With this thing you can block apps from unauthorized sources, and potentially also when connecting the phone to the PC that I'm gonna do right now, you should not be able to receive any commands via USB. Alright, now guys, when I click allow, you should be able to access the storage of your phone on your PC, but there is something called the maximum restrictions, and I think they put it and they removed it. Now apparently it's back. When you click here, guys, and you set the maximum restrictions, right, you will be only allowed to charge your phone the moment you hook it up on the PC. The only issue that I have with this thing is that right now I'm not even able to access my data at all, no matter if I disable the maximum restrictions or enable them, but it works on my other PC, so more probably I need to also restart my laptop to make this happen. And yeah, this is it, guys. I really hope that you have enjoyed this video. If that's the case, you might want to check some of the previous stuff I did. And let's hope that the One UI 7 will make this phone even better than it was. Stay safe, VST over, and bye.